Gringos! G'day, how you doing? Perfect to hear. Well, it's been a while since I've had some actual real life decent content on this channel. And for those of you out there starving for more, this is it. I've actually just completed a 6-week voluntary workaway situation here in Medellin, and I thought, what better format than video to tell you all about it and how I found it. So this video is going to answer the age-old question. Okay, no one actually cares about it except for travelers, but I had it before I left and I'm going to answer it. Is Workaway worth it? Let's find out. So what is Workaway, you might ask? Well, Workaway is a website. It connects organizations and businesses with poor, scummy travelers like myself. So essentially, the business organization, they're going to offer you a role at their place. And as the volunteer, you will accept the role, live there, work there, and that's it. So really, I mean, it's almost like a trade-off. You trade your time for lodgings. You know, you'll work at the business and they might offer you discounts on things or give you a meal. Basically, you're parlaying your time and skills for the chance to kind of extend your travel a bit more and save on things like food, accommodation. Workaways vary from a lot of things. I think most of them tend to be farms where you're going to pick fruit and whatnot. But being in an urban center here in Medellin, Colombia, I was super lucky and got one in an actual building in an urban center like this. So I worked in a language school. So it was a school teaching Spanish to extranjeros like myself. And essentially I helped them with some PR stuff, some video stuff, and also kind of student services. So a lot of the time it was, 20 hours a week, and I would be, writing up blogs, or I would be helping the students or going on tours throughout the city. Essentially, I'm giving 20 hours of my time, and then in return, I would get a bed in a shared dorm, which is like myself and 3 other beds, and a discount on some classes if I wanted to learn some Spanish, which I kind of did, and free coffee all day. That's all I got. So whether or not that is worth it is going to be completely up to you. But for me, I'm going to go into the money side of things. And I think looking at it from a purely objective point of view, this is not a way to make or save a lot of money. I mean, for instance, all I was getting at my workaway was a room in a dorm. I could pay for a room in a dorm for about $10 US a night here in Colombia. And if you work it out or do the math, it's kind of like you're working 20 hours a week for roughly a $70 US good or service, e.g. the bed. I mean, if you're thinking about money objectively, I could have put those 20 hours into, online work or doing some social media or marketing online. And I think I would have made more than $70 and I could have got my own place. But that's not the whole point of Workaway. It's hard to say, is it worth it? Because financially, I think obviously, at least for me, it's not. I mean, I've got enough money to fork out for a bed and I can buy coffees for myself, now and again. But I think saying, it's not worth it entirely because of the money is just stupid. Because the other main, huge, important point about Workaway, and especially my volunteering experience, was the people. And kind of the things you get to do that as a backpacker, you don't get to do. For instance, for 6 weeks, I didn't pack my bag and move from place to place. For 6 weeks, rather than meeting person to person to person and jumping around the country, I got to stay in one city, get to know my area really well, and actually get to know people really well. I mean, it's pretty different when you're in a hostel, right? And if you're lucky, you'll get to know someone for maybe 3 or 4 days, and then they go somewhere or you go somewhere. At a place like a language school, it's the perfect place or perfect example because the students going there are usually pretty switched on. They are go-getters, they want to learn a new language, and they're going to be there for a few weeks. So I made friends and was with people for 4 to 6 weeks, and we would do everything together. So that is just something you don't get, traveling around, It's just a really different style of travel. So purely judging on money, maybe Workaway is a crock of shit. But from a purely experiential point of view, I think it's second to none, especially where I was. All you need to know for now, Workaway, Workaway.